What's going on? Give me a sec, give me a sec. Let me just pop out all the chats. We'll get cracking, shall we? Alright. Kiko, Belly Babe, Sketchy Squirrel, how you doing? Bloody great to have ya. Got all my chats situated. Okay, let's get stuck into it, shall we? Bliss Draws, how you doing? Art by Purple Vodka. Welcome. Wilson Dreamer, how you doing? Orkin, Julia, great to have ya. Zoe Art Garden, hello. All right, so today I want to do some figure stuff. All right, if that's okay with you, I reckon we can just jump straight into it. I couldn't help myself. I started already. But I've got some reference images that we can sort of like cycle through and see if we can get some figure stuff going. And then I've also got some like style reference as well to see how we can simplify our shapes and learn, right? Pencil Cami, how you doing? Illis1, welcome, welcome. Old Tree, how you doing? Design Mafia, this is a Cintiq 32 Pro, I believe. Orkin, thank you. Raffaello, great to have you back. All right. So I think we're good to go. Rani, welcome. Okay, so I let a few more people just sort of filter in before we get going straight away. Mother Grime, welcome. Alfie, great to have you. So yeah, so I reckon we just start with this dude. Start with the Popo. See if we can get a little character going. Let me get myself situated. Plugins, filthy. Oh, where are ya? Oh, excuse me. Oh my god. Plugins, filthy. Thank you. Where the fuck is the plugin thing gone? Do I have to rearrange my whole workspace again? Let's do it. Reset essentials. And then plugins. Thank you. Alright. Not too much of a big deal. Alright, so the things we're focusing on today, simple shape. I mean every stream, if I'm being honest. Simple shapes, pushing proportions, and this is in my head at least. You guys you do what you want. And overlapping shapes. Those are the key themes for today. Because what I've been seeing in art that I really enjoy, but like simplified, stylized stuff in particular, is like things like this face, right? You could look at that. So this is by Alessandro Bobucci. You look at this, right? It looks simple. It looks simple, but there's like a little bit extra to it. Like particularly in this like mouth area. A lot of this, there's just like so many overlapping shapes, which gives it that dimension, you know? So it's like, that's kind of what I'm focusing on. Just little things like that, little observations that we can hopefully bring into our own stuff. Voyou Frame, I discovered you 2 days ago and I've learned a lot from you in those 2 days. Thank you. Thank you for popping in. Great to have you. Value Babe, I made the worst mistake before this stream started off, not securing my sketchbook with clips before I started, needing my razor, and now I've ripped my tiger. Oh, Value Babe. My apologies. My condolences. Super, what's going on? The Opal? Nah, you haven't missed anything. You've missed absolutely nothing, Opal. Let's start from scratch. And what do we reckon? Let's get started. Start with the sketch. And then see if we find one that we like. And if we got time, we might whip a bit of color in there. Okay? Probably more cell shady kind of color. Depending on our time constraints. So let's see what shape we're seeing here. I'm kind of seeing this thing. That kind of deal. Ish. There's like a little bit of a swoop to his stance. Alright, so there's like a little bit of balance stuff going on. We can mess around with proportions. I mean, his head looks more triangular to me. Right, and this, when I used to see this and people would start off with large shapes, I used to think that that was like the envelope that you had to keep it within. That's a good exercise, definitely. But it's not like, okay, now I've got to keep all the hands inside here. You could do that. There's nothing wrong with doing that. But it's more of like a general squint your eyes sort of thing. And that's the shape that I see. All right, so let's see if we can add some of these hands there. A little bit of his hat. Now we can make, this is where we make decisions, right? Do we want his head to be really long with the cap? We could definitely do that. We could squash it right down and have the head quite tiny. We could do that as well. I think I might do that. We've got the indication of his vest. So we just got to do a quick sketch pass. Then I'll knock it back. And then we'll go from there. And this is where you can do one version like this, right, with these proportions, and then do another version with like more push proportions, do more simplified stuff, more detailed. Like it's not like a one and done sort of thing. All right, so let's knock him back, and this is like a good time to knock it back. Then we got the Filthy plugin and are loving it. Oh, awesome, Alfie. Glad to hear it. You don't need 50 plugins, you need the Filthy plugin. Orkin, very good. I see my marketing team's in chat. Great to have you guys. So yeah, this as usual, like the last few weeks. Let me turn my music down. How's all the audio and stuff? Is that all? That'll go on all right. Hopefully that's going okay. Yeah, I've been coding my little. Took us off on the course platform Drea, soon to be released. Spending a lot of time on that course creator interface and how it works, and it's starting to feel like a real thing, which is awesome. All right, with this head as well, I'm seeing, I don't know if I should zoom in here to see his face. Like proportions wise, we can have some fun here. So I'm seeing like quite a bit of distance between the nose and the mouth. All right, so the eyes and this isn't, I don't know why this has turned into a lesson straight away. I'm just talking. So just for those that are new, these streams aren't lessons. These are just chills hang out, talk shit. Oh, hold on, sorry. Talk shit. And did that work? I don't know. Does it work? I hope so. Yes, it does. I think I see it in OBS. We'll see. Yeah, it's just me learning. We're having fun chatting, and if you learn something along the way, if I learn something along the way, that's even better. It's working, Bally Babe. There we go. Yep, fantastic. All right, so what I'm seeing is a big distance between the nose and the mouth here. Right, so we can kind of have some fun with that. And I want to simplify it. Like if we want to keep the sound, I'm not going for likeness here. This is just sort of looser observations. But this is a way you could go for likeness if you wanted to spend some time in it. Trying to find the graphic shapes of the mouth. All right, we've got some distance between this, whatever this part of the face is. You know what I'm saying? Ben, when you clip your streams, you download the whole stream from YouTube or you do something different? No, that's all I do. Just rip it from YouTube. Unless I'm not allowed to do that, Google. In that case, I record it separately. But I'm pretty sure, I don't know. That was allegedly... But I mean, it's my own shit, so what do you got to do? I'd imagine it's okay. But yeah, I mean, it's good. It's good enough quality for, because you can only do reels and shorts and that sort of stuff in 1080p. So it's good enough, really. So here he looks a little bit more sad or disgusted. So we could change that quickly. Just with a little mouth uptick. You're downloading one of the streams from YouTube and it's going to take 8 hours? No. No. Are you downloading it directly through YouTube? Get something called, oh, what is it? 4K video downloader. Get that. It takes less than an hour. Shouldn't take. How long was your stream though? It takes 8 hours. Holy shit. Yeah, get something called, like, that's what I use, 4K video downloader, just to download my own stuff and then recycle it into other bits and pieces of content. 5 hours stream, yeah, nah, shouldn't take. No, that's wrong. Get 4K video downloader and save yourself some time. All right, so I'm trying to find the shapes. We're still in the sketchy zone. All right. We got the little hat here. These are all very simple shapes. So we can have some fun with these. He's got glasses, so we can whip them on him if we like. All right, so we've got some indication of the head here. He's got his little thing going down. Now this is where I find it important to give us, like, figure out some of these simple shapes to begin with, because then we can use them as things to place other things on top of, like the vest, okay, but even things like this little walkie-talkie. Maybe we do like a bit larger sort of walkie-talkie. You know, so it's kind of, it makes sense because it's stuck on him in perspective. let's make the zipper a little bit bigger. Like here we got to play with the shapes. This is the thing that I train myself to do, is to not get caught up in the details of the reference, but use them literally as reference. But it takes a lot of time to get to a place where you utilizing the reference versus copying the reference, if that makes any sense whatsoever. Yeah, I'm downloading it from YouTube. Yeah, sorry, reread that one. All right, technical difficulty. Okay, we're back. Okay, let's get this feeling like he's actually standing somewhere. Okay, get a bit of his hands. His hand it's kind of coming out a little bit, so I might want to emphasize that just a little bit more. And something that I always do, right? I always want to, particularly on, like if we're looking at this guy and he's like 3/4 view and like his rib cage is here, let's say, and it's just his torso is kind of like, if we do the center line, it's not facing us bang on. It's kind of off to the side a little bit. I'm feeling a little bit analytical today, you know, just a little bit of breaking stuff down. I don't know why. Art of Kingstar, I'm one of your biggest fans. I appreciate it, my friend. Thank you for popping in. Omafa, Ben, what would you recommend a complete newbie to learn art? First, figure out what you like. What do you like to look at? What do you enjoy absorbing? If that makes sense. With your eyes. What gets you going? And then that gives you direction. Because that's going to, the enjoyment of the stuff that you like is going to get you through the frustration of learning how to do that versus doing something that you feel that you have to do. Figuring that out first is like, yeah, that would be my, there's no technical tips, no nothing before figuring that out. Yeti Fresh, what's going on, my friend? I see you popping in onto the old IG. Hope you're doing well. So, what was I saying? Yeah, the arms, right? This, I always have a tendency to want to show too much of this arm here, right? But in reality, if we figure out the clavicles, right, that's going to go back in space, okay? And then the shoulder thingy is going to be back behind here. It's going to be obscured by the torso, right? And then the arm comes out here, and then this arm, unless his arm is actually out this way, doesn't make sense that that the shoulder would be out here, right? So yeah, less of the other side of the arm. That's what I'm thinking. Can even make his arms a little bit beefier. I mean, we could even mess around with the proportions even more. Does he need to be that tall? Can he be like here? You know, I think that feels kind of cool. But in doing that, I feel like his head's a little bit out of proportion. And this is where you can just push and pull. Push and pull. And it's just like a ton of fun. Yeah, make his head that big, that's fine. Still in sketchy mode. I kind of go back and forth between like really clean line work and I want it to be all super tight and not. Omafa, Much appreciated. Yeah, all good. All good. Ganesh, what are you drinking? Coffee or hot water? Coffee. Which is just spicy hot water. Chris Maycock, how you doing? Now, to give this guy a little bit of direction with his feet, I mean, you could see it here with, here, with his feet. This little Tootsie right here facing towards us. This one here is kind of facing that way. All right, so we've got to keep that into account. Even if I get my hand, Instagram, this makes no sense to you because the OBS isn't set up to view this properly. But if we, let's get something geometric. All right, you see my phone, right? It's, if we imagine that his feet is the phone, right? Facing us, not facing us. So it's going to be like a three-dimensional object, right? This way, curving around this way, that kind of deal. That's what I'm thinking about. Hopefully that makes sense because I'm quite small on the monitor. I don't even know if that sort of showed up, but that's what I'm thinking about. And even little things like this, like the angle of the laces. Right, if we were to put that on a, let's say like a flat plane, right, these laces are facing more towards us. If we turn that plane a little bit that way, and we did like crisscrossy patterns, it gives the illusion that it's going this way and this one's going more that way, you know? So it's little things like that that you can add, and how you can do it scribbly, but it still gives the viewer an idea of what's going on. So his things are tucked in, which is cool. So we can make them all tucked in. Alright. Get a little bit of this stuff going on. Even these things, like the little pockets and stuff, they've got perspective. You've got to take those into account. So this pocket might be facing towards us. This pocket here is kind of facing away from us. So this little flap has got to go in perspective. I just feel like explaining a lot of what's going on in my head right now. So apologies if I'm just being a bit of a chatty Cathy. Telsey, how you doing? All right, and hands. Hands, people always get caught up as like, oh, the face, all the expression in the face. For me, I mean, yes, true, there is a lot of expression in the face, obviously, but hands can say a hell of a lot about the person as well. Like I don't know, for lack of a better word, there's a lot of personality in the hands. So we can make sure we include some of that personality, a little bit more stumpy fingers. All right, now let's leave him here and let's go on to another one because I don't want to get bogged down. Otherwise, we'll be the next 3 hours working on this guy, which could be cool. But let's try something. Let's try another pose. Now this one is cool. See how far we can push this. The Art of Black, how you doing? But yeah, I'd also like to get you guys, tell us what's the name of this brush. This brush is called the Flat Flowy. It's not available yet because I just haven't put it out. It'll be free. I'll throw it in somewhere soon where you can get it. You can get a free one off of my Gumroad, which is similar, which is the long skinny line. It's the only brush on there, so go for it. Yeah, I want to know from you guys as I'm building. Like, you can give feedback obviously when I put proper links and stuff to the to the course platform and whatever in Discord. But I want to know what just absolutely shit ya about the courses that you've taken. What things don't you like? Because I know what I don't like, and that's what I'm building this whole thing around. But I also want to know what you guys like and dislike. More so dislike. Oh, a bit of both. It makes sense for like figuring out both. Like what when you get a course, have you had like buyer's remorse? What's that like and why? Having iPad trouble, so I guess for now I'm just watching. Oh, sorry to hear it, Opal. All right, so this is very not what I was looking to do. You know what I mean? But yeah, so if you want to throw some ideas either in chat or in Discord or whatever, it'll make probably more sense when I've start sharing links to Drea itself. But here, okay, let's back. My mind, we're multitasking, but multitasking is fake. It's false. It's not true. It's just context switching really fast. So let's see. Let's get the torso first. No, or do we want the whole? Let's see. Okay, that's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing like bam, bam, that. Let's try that as like an initial shape. Powerful. Scarf Dark, how you doing? Super. I actually returned a Unity course on Udemy that taught the basics of how to use a program, but advertised itself as how to make a game. Interesting. Okay, so a mismatch. It was a scam though, so not really a good example. No, fair. But there could be like elements of that where being very upfront of what you're going to get in the course or a product that you're putting out, I think is a good idea. Because I've had that before as well, where it wasn't a scam or anything, but it's like, oh, this is not. I see it on a smaller scale with YouTube thumbnails, where, like, say for example, I can't think of an actual like and I wouldn't say it anyway, but you see the thumbnail and it's like this awesome piece of art, and you're like, oh, sick, all right, let's have a look, let's see how they got it, how they did that, and then it's nothing to do with that. And you're like, what the? I just got bloody honey potted with a nice bit of art, and then got to the end, and I didn't see nothing. But I think I've also been guilty of that early on with the YouTube, like the live streams, because I didn't think about it very much, and I just had like the same image from like the previous stream on the next stream. So yeah, there's that. I just drew a chunky cup like that the other day, but mine is eyeing a sprinkled donut. Nice one, Yeti. Nice. All right, this is a fun pose, but it's a little tricky, so we got to have like the intensity. So I'm seeing curvy, right? Here I'm seeing curvy, 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 but then I see two straights for the arms. Curvy, curvy, then bam, bam. So this is our little first pass. Squiggly version. All right, the ears. One little trick with the ears, you probably heard this before, but maybe you haven't. For head tilts. All right, we'll do 3 separate head shapes. If you want like a real quick way to make the head look like it's tilting, particularly in the front on view. Ears down. Looks like they're looking up. Ears higher. Looks like they're looking down. Ears more centered. It looks like they're facing forward. So that's like a really quick shorthand of just like, if you want your more gesturally stuff to have some direction. Okay. I'm getting too anatomy-y with this one. Clickbaited. Yeah, it's worse if you're clickbaited when it comes to buying course, though. That's false. Yeah, exactly right. Exactly right. But the way that we're thinking, so I'll give you a little insight as to how Francis and I are thinking about this. Because a lot of, I don't know, I'm just talking from my experience with courses. They're very, what's the word? Like the content can be great, but the structure of them can be a pain in the ass to navigate. And even from the creation of the course itself, it's very like you've got a course, then you have a lesson, then that lesson might have an assignment, or the course might have an assignment, and then the lesson can have a video. And it's a little bit too structured for what I want. So we've got, the way we're thinking of it is having everything freeform. So yeah, you can have like one overarching course, but then you do whatever you want. You can have like pages essentially, and those pages can have a video, text, multiple videos, quizzes, assignments, file uploads, boom, 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 boom. And then it's completely up to you how you arrange that. Lock it off with some free stuff, some paid stuff. Like it's, I want it to be way more like freeform, because that's how I want to structure all my stuff. It's hard to show without explain without showing it, but yeah, okay, it's coming soon. All right, so here I'm getting a little bit anatomy for my liking, if I'm honest, but it sometimes does help because it can very quickly like stiffen up the pose, you know. But it also helps me with structure. So there's a little bit of a balance there. And even these little like indications for eyes to begin with just helps me a little bit. Get that out of there. Let's make it a little more like that. Now this little curve here is very useful. All right, because here you could very quickly just block this out and it be very rectangular. But I like that kind of thinking about the spine, and then you got the pelvis there. Will people have the option of making their courses more structured? 1000%. That's the thing. You do whatever you want with it. It doesn't make it less structured if you don't want it. But it's like any lesson page or whatever, you can do whatever you want. You can add a quiz in there. You can add assignments. You can just have a thing where it's just a post, like an article post that has interspersed context within it, or you can just do a library of videos. It's going to be completely up to you. Ergo Anathema, welcome. Montanahis, hello, greetings from Brazil. Thank you so much. Thanks for popping in. Adam, how you doing? So yeah, having this kind of structure here helps give it a little bit of structure. What am I saying? The curviness, right? Thinking about the pelvis, if we were getting a little bit anatomy, right? And then having this kick back, arms straight. So this is our like our real straights. All right, also I can see myself getting really sucked into this one, so we've just got to keep it loose. Okay. And here, maybe the neck's a little bit too large, and then the hair kind of helps with this as well, because it's kind of like shabam. All right, one more knockback, and then we'll move on to the next one. What do you reckon? Exuberant Exile, how you doing? So you're concerned that people won't get what they want out of a course that's less structured? I think I lost the thread of this course. Yeah, no. No, it's I want to make my stuff a resource in different, because I learn from both videos and text and different examples in context of one another, because I find myself trying to grab stuff from all over the place. So that's how I want to position my stuff, is it's a resource that you can come back to time and time and time again. It's not something that you just, all right, buy the course and then it just sits on the shelf. It's like, oh, I want it to be something that people can come back to. And it almost like give value ongoing, because there's context and there might be some things that don't make sense at this point in time, but you can come back to it easily. You're not trying to filter through like a video and chapters and that kind of thing necessarily. Yeah, it's hard to say, but it'll make sense. It'll make sense. But that's the thing. We're making it so people can do whatever they want. Maybe it does make sense just to have videos for some people, you know? And some things that I might put out are just videos as well. Who knows? All right, so we're here. We've got her on the ground. We've grounded her a little bit, which is good. Prashant, what's going on? Fernando, welcome, my friend. Do you ever have trouble not stylizing but using shape design while applying a ref? Do you ever have trouble not stylizing but using shape design well? Exuberant Exile. I'm not entirely sure what that question is. If you could reword that in a different, or if someone can. Yeah, I'm not sure how to answer that one, but yeah, feel free to reword that for me, because I don't know, I'm stupid. All right, let's knock this back. Let's just do the quick and dirty knockback with the eraser. And let's see if we can clean up some of this thinking. Let's change the brush color. Why not? Can we make the mouth like even larger? Does that even make any sense? Is it just going to make it look stupid? Because we've got to take into account here, let's say skull sketch incoming. I love a good skull sketch. So if we're thinking about this realistically, we got the skull here, right? And that mouth is going to hinge. The bottom jaw is hinged down, right? But at the same time, this head is also tilted back. So we've got to keep that into account. So then we're going to see a bit of the teeth, but if we were to look inside the mouth, we would see more of the underside of the upper mouth, maybe a little bit of this. depending on how wide the mouth is open. Right? That's what I'm thinking about without drawing all of this as well. So give you a little bit of context. So this way, the nose has to be sitting in a certain way that makes sense. Oh my God, he's come back. Eraser, just work. Maybe I shouldn't use an eraser. Or like the big one. Let's just use this one. That's fine. Right, maybe we don't see as much as the top of the head. And then we can exacerbate, I don't know if that's the right word to use here, but I'm using it. The ears might be down here now because the head's tilted all the way back. Right, okay, this is a good spot to figure out. Candy Cat, my Twitch ID. Shit, good question. Ben Eblin, I think. That's quite unhinged. Very good, Al. What do you think about photo bashing? I think you do your thing, man. Doesn't bother me in the slightest. So I was writing a bit faced, but like I'm working on characters and I really want to work on shape design. But whenever I draw them dynamically, I feel I lose a lot of the stylization. Those two words kind of, the dynamically and stylization kind of work hand in hand for me, you know? So I'm not entirely sure, like without seeing your work, it's hard to give you anything. But I'd recommend drawing the same thing multiple times. So for example, like here, if this is like too dynamic, let's say, like if you just like popped it out here, you know, and then the hips are all the way out here, and then the legs are just like bam, bam, like that. You could do that, right? But yeah, it's hard to. I don't want to start giving my thoughts on something that I haven't seen. So, but I'd recommend drawing things in multiple versions of the same thing, using more dynamic shapes, less dynamic shapes, pushing and pulling in different ways, right? So then you can kind of take what works from the others and put it into your main one. Yeah, what I was going to do, like the eyes, for example, how can we simplify it? Like figure out different ways to simplify the eyes. So this is Raul Moreno Coslado. Love this guy's work. Right? Real simplified shapes. Beautiful stuff. And he works a lot with overlaps. Alright? So we could try and see, because these eyes are going to be, what's the word? Foreshortened. That wasn't the word I was going for, but the bottom of the eyes could be blocked off by the cheeks here because we're back that way, but the eyes could be looking forward, if that makes any sense. And then we could simplify the brow. Maybe. But then we got the lash that we might want to make a little. And you know what? The best reference is yourself. You're like, oh, how does this work? Take a photo of your head back that way and see what happens, you know? And I do like to draw heads without hair to begin with. It does help a lot, because then we can come back and position it in a way where it makes sense on the head, because the head's going to be tilted back. If she's got a little bit more hair in the back there, we're probably going to see a little bit more of that, you know. Wait, actually, that might actually really work, though. I hope it does. I hope it does. Yori, did you enjoy drawing things? Oh, no, I hate it. I hate it so, so much. No, I love drawing things. I love drawing anything, really. I like the puzzle of it. I like the figuring it out. Why does this not look right? Why does this look right? Etc., etc. I complain, I know. Why am I even here? What am I doing? No, we're just dicking around, Yori. Don't worry about it. Again, I want to see less of this other side of the arm. Well, and then people like asking a lot about like, oh, anatomy. Do I need to know anatomy? You don't need to do anything, okay? Sticky Art Shorts, how you doing? But it does really help for things like this. Like when you're drawing people, it's like, could you like if you got a nail, could you hammer it with a block of wood? Of course you could. Could you hammer it with a block of steel? Yes. Could you hammer it with a computer? Probably. But it's like finding the right tools for the job. You can kind of, a lot of the times, get most of the way there with what you've got around you, right? In your head. But if you want to become more efficient and instead of noodling around and trying to find, oh, why doesn't this like arm look right? Because like, say if you put the arm in the wrong position, why doesn't it look right? Instead of just like erasing and drawing and raising and drawing again and again and again, having a little bit of an understanding of anatomy can help. It's not a must, but it really helps me in these situations. Particularly understanding stuff like this, where if we've got this, let's say, torso thing going on here, right? We got the pecs. Understanding that the shoulders sort of sit here, right? And that the arm is going to kind of cut, at least in this view, if this arm is going straight down, it's going to cut in front of that rib cage or the lats. Okay, and it makes it look a little bit more natural. Versus having it stick out here, right? And having this like gap, right? And that's where we come back to the overlapping shapes. All right, so having this shape in front, shape behind, this is connected, you know? And even little things like this little muscle here, this thing, this little triangle, an awesome little indicator to show like the direction. This little triangle in here to show the direction of the thighs. Little stuff like that, you know. Silly, how you doing? Al, got to know the rules in order to break them. Correct, my friend. And sometimes the rules don't make sense. Okay. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. I think we can leave this one like this for now. Not exactly where I want it to be, but it's fine. Let's go into another one, hey? Whoa, 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 whoa. Oh, I didn't do the bloody hands. Hold on, give me a second. So this hand's kind of be behind here. There could be a, if we're just copying this pose, there could be an instinct to want to show this whole arm and the hand here. Doesn't make sense if we're having the arm straight down, but we can tweak it and have the hand here. All right, so you just got to think about, okay, if you're changing something, why would the shapes go where we want to put them? You know, if this is here, then this arm has to come out at around the correct place of the elbow, which is going to be, if we do like x-ray mode, the arm's going to be behind there. Geez, this is turning into a lesson, isn't it? Bloody hell. And then you could have the fist here, you know, fist down here. So yeah, you can start playing, and that fist looks terrible. How embarrassing. Right, something along those lines. Cool. This is fun, this one. I want to got a little bit of the structure. We've got to simplify all this, or else we'll be here for this time next week. So let's see. We got some motor vehicles happening. Alright, sorry, just sort my music out. Need something to get me going. Come on. Alright, bit of Blink 182, why not? So, I reckon the strategy for this one, again, super simple shapes. Like I see this. Real weird, abstract sort of thing going on here. Oh, Rocco's went 0 to 100. What's this for? With the pose. So what you're talking about? Hopefully you'll be able to see that regardless of the pose, it is all the same principles. Just because we've got this dude being super athletic. Right, we've got to make sure that this makes sense in perspective. Perspective doesn't change. Hand here. Let's say, and let's do like hand here. Alright, so we can kind of get a real quick idea of what we want. So we're going to knock it back again. It's giving Akira. Yeah. Alright, let's see if we can find a little bit of character here. So we got the helmet. See, even, what was that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 little lines with an understanding of perspective, you can get a long way. 7 lines. 8 lines, 9 lines, 10 lines, and then you keep going. But just to give yourself some sort of placeholder things. I don't know, it helps me. Alright, still, this is where anatomy and simple shapes really help out. Because this is just foreshortened city right in here. Also, one thing that I've been finding, doing tradigital, that's it, tradigital, TM, trademarked it, 3rd of February, tradigital. Doing more traditional stuff with like brush pens and things, I've actually started to hold my stylus less like this and more loosely as I would, and like being back from the tablet, which has helped become a little bit looser, or helped me become a little bit looser and more maybe deliberate with my lines. There's like been massive crossovers and like I think skill upgrades for myself with doing some more traditional brush pen stuff. It's also like a lot of the things I'm looking for as well are little indications of shape differences. For example, just this little hand here. All right, we zoom in. Look at those like 20 pixels here, but you get what I'm saying. This finger is on the trigger or like on the brake, right? Just when we're sketching it out, let's throw that first finger out more than the others. It gives that illusion. You know what I'm saying? You picking up what I'm putting down? Yori, I like how you move your brush lines. Looks really cool and confident. Thank you, Laurie. But yeah. Catch you later, Opal. Irakuis, letting go of the pen is something that took me years to commit to on my own. Seeing how the language changes by just changing grip is pretty interesting. I know, right? It's very cool. Okay, so let's find his knee here. Can't be a stream without mentioning the knee. Now this is a tricky little foot placement, right? But it does ground it. And I'm not focusing on the exact shapes or the contours of that reference, you know? The Panny, how you doing? Kentas, welcome back. I'm doing good. I'm doing good. How you doing? Right, but because we've done this, we can't have the bike being all the way back here. Because if we think about perspective, realistically, that bike, that tire has got to be up here somewhere. Or even a little bit more over here. So that's just something to keep in mind. And we could, does it have to be a bike? Like your typical whatever? Like this kind of thing? Maybe we do like a hover bike sort of situation. Just because we're... So what would this hover bike look like? So maybe that's the shadow. There's like, I don't know. But you see, you can just play. It's perspective is... Draw with Brady. The knee is so interesting, Ben, don't you think? I think so. I think it's one of the more interesting parts of the body. Make it a tiger. He's riding a tiger. Christ, I don't know how to draw a tiger. I don't think I've ever drawn a tiger. Motorcycle has to be the coolest vehicle to ever exist, honestly. Maybe. The cool thing is with these more mechanical things, they leave clues as to where things should be. Alright, so we've got the mirrors up here. This, we can find the other mirror. If it was that big. It probably shouldn't be that big, but anyway, this I'm getting it. I'm in danger zone right now of noodling away on this one. So let's just keep it high level. Keep it high level. Let's not go too crazy with it. Or instead of the single thing at the beginning, I swear all my words just like get out of my brain when the stream comes on. Maybe it's more like this kind of thing where it's because he's kind of pushed this way. There's like, it's got to keep its balance somehow. So there's like two things going on. And then it's just like, poof. Something like that maybe. I don't know. He's got his little things there, which are just boxes. But yeah, you get the idea. That'd be a hell of a lot scarier being a hovercraft. With his foot down like that. Oh, would it? Mate, I don't know. I think I'm thinking too far into this. So he's got his thing at the back, the light at the back, and maybe he's got like a little antenna thing. I like mixing like the analog and the futuristic stuff. It's kind of cool. Fourth. Great to have you. Ben, do you recommend studying how to draw skull just to have a better comprehension of how to draw heads? 1,000%. 1,000%. Tiger study time, maybe. Fourth, glad the chat preview is working now. Yeah, I've just added it back, you know. It's a staple. It's got to be there. The references, what do you use software? So this is PureRef. What are you studying right now? What's your focus on? Good question, Yori. I mentioned this a little bit earlier, but I'm focusing on simplification of shapes and like overlapping shapes. I think that's what I said. So overlapping shapes being this hand in front of this arm, this torso in front of the arm, the helmet in front of the torso, which is in front of the arm. You know what I mean? So it kind of makes things feel a little bit more realistic, or just more 3D, not even so much realistic. Cool. All right, that's a cool little sketch. I'm happy with that. Next. Kentas, I released a short on YouTube yesterday and a reel last week on Instagram. My latest one goes into specifically the profile view of the head and placing the eye, which might help you out with the skull. The Art of Black, you have a way of just simplifying shapes. It's awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you. This guy's kind of cool. What can we do with old mate here? So I see this as just the largest shape. And note, like, sometimes I'll just try and put in shape, like the hands here could be a real, again, like with the hands, there can be a lot of character just in the hands themselves. Right, so I'm just starting with the hands here and then finding everything else around it. Well, let's move him down a little bit. Let's change the color. Why not? Let's go like a more rose red. Okay. And he's got little feet here. Right, and he's got his hat, which kind of follows that shape. And I'm seeing a triangle here, so we can throw that in there if we want. Find the eyes. Belt. Trinkets and whatever he's got going on. May or may not make sense, but that is the beauty of just trying stuff out. You never know if you never give it a go. Treasure Planet vibe, true. All right. Knock it back. Now I like this dude's face, like particularly his lip area. We can maybe play a little bit with that. And he's got his beard, which is like a big part of this dude's character. He's kind of caught, like he seems kinder, so we don't really want to give him the angry. Oh, we could. He's got that like kind of mascara underneath here. Then we had little wispies here. And because we've made some changes to the head shape, knock that ear back a little bit. And then we add some of this hair back here maybe. It's got a little tassel thing. Again, simple shapes, giving us that foundation with the larger shapes at first. He's got his ring here. Wrap it around that cylinder of the arm. Just keep this hand pretty simplified. Got the ring there. Right, so we're kind of going back and forth. This side, a bit of this side, a bit of this side. You know what I mean? So I'm trying to find the balance. Little bags of whatever he's got in here. Even the belt is an awesome way to give us, if we think about him as a cylinder, to give us that wrapping line. And this is kind of a longer lens as well, so it's not going to be super distorted. Let's say, for example, if we were to draw him with like a real wide angle lens, like we could, depending on the direction, if the horizon line was right in the middle, you'd have like the feet here, and then here you might be looking up at his face a little bit. But then you'd, yeah, this actually, that doesn't make much sense. I know what I was trying to say. Didn't work out. Don't want to confuse you because it confused me. Let's just keep going with this guy. Basically, there's not going to be a lot of like not foreshortening, like real big, like if it was just a cube. Instead of this, it's going to be closer to this. You know what I mean? Like if there was like a little doorway here. Right, so this is like a wide angle lens, right? And this is sort of like a longer lens where there's less distortion, let's say. Things can flatten out, and you can have like a super wide lens, like from really, really far away, and stuff can almost look like parallel, you know? So it's not going your typical back this way. It's kind of, yeah. And I'd recommend getting into like Blender or somewhere, like whatever software, like 3D software that you'd feel comfortable with, and just mess around with lenses. Or even better yet, get a camera and do the same thing. Ryan, may everybody have a happy and healthy year of the snake. Thank you, sir. Okay. Have you tried sculpting / modeling in Blender or any 3D software? Yeah, I really enjoy that. It's good fun. I got to do some more of it. I'm going to be utilizing my 3D printer a lot more soon. Would his feet be a little bit wider apart, maybe? Yeah, I don't know. We can experiment and play. And once we've got this, then we can go on top and really nail things down if we want to. I think he might, he looks a little bit, give him a little bit of height. Might feel a little bit better. And you can play on hard mode as well and try and find the skeleton. Right, how does his pelvis and stuff work? You can start to then understand where the foot might be. Which makes it feel a little bit more natural, maybe. See, just that little change in the eyebrow gives him more of like a kinda-ish sort of feeling. Cool. All right. Nice little sketch of this dude. By the way, the Proko Zolly app works all right. Yeah, I've had to play around with it. It's a good little app. Recommend checking it out. Proko Zolly. Are you a fan of vastly changing proportions of ref like Jeremy Hoffman does, for example? Jeremy Hoffman. All right, Fun Guns, you've got me. Jeremy Hoffman. I think I know exactly, yeah. So let's have a look. Is this who you're talking about? Yeah. I think, yeah, I follow him already. Yeah, I love this stuff. Really like super exaggerating things And that's a different kind of study in itself, right? I'm not trying to go way, way, way too far out of like the reference at the moment. But yeah, I think that's great. We could, oh, no, let's not get bogged down. Let's keep going. Next one. We're trying to get some mileage today. This one could be cool. Because like, I'm thinking even with the rendering and stuff, because this is like movement. And this one's like everything in the background is moving. And this is all in focus. So let's play. Come on. Okay, that'll do. All right. So what am I seeing here? I'm seeing this. I'm seeing straight. I'm seeing head. Tilt there. So this is kind of what I'm seeing. Looks a bit weird at the moment. This is a good little start. It's like if you leapt into my brain, squint your eyes a little bit, this is probably what you'd see. So now knock that back. Now we've got to be careful here. Well, it depends how we do our character, right? It doesn't really, we don't know how far we're going to push this just yet. But like the neck and how it connects to the head, the intuition, what's another word for that? The your initial, yeah, your initial thought might be to show all of the neck and then pop the head on top here, which you can do, but her neck is actually forward a little bit and it's going to be quite foreshortened, so you might not see too much of it, and her head is tilted, and this is where I would use the center line here just to give us maybe a bit of the tilt, the head tilt. Clavicle. Arm. And a good little exercise, as I mentioned before, draw stuff multiple times. Maybe we do this more on the, more like closer to the reference, and then you might go through and say, okay, how do we even simplify it more? Do we need all these lines? Do we need like this leg? Can it just be that and that? You know, the calf, that and that. Yeah, also gotta have fun with it, you know? There will be days where it's not going right. I've had many of those days. I still have many of those days. It'll happen, and you'll be frustrated, and you'll be like, why am I even doing this? Don't worry about it. Gut feeling. AC, thank you very much. That's what I was going for. Sorry for my English. I mean, why is 2 workspace for 2-page on Photoshop? Maybe I'll use it to. Sorry, it's happening. I'm sorry, I don't quite understand that. Inclination. Locked in bit. Yeah, there you go. tilt this head, because that's sort of how she's tilted her head a little bit. And then we knock it all back. Let's find the face. I mean, I found it is here. Found it, but find the expression. Now, flipping the canvas does help as well, a lot. Highly recommend it. Okay. Head, ear. Less ear on that side. My apologies for zooming in and out. Force a habit. But I'd recommend, if you're not streaming, do it yourself. Hillary CC, what's the short key for flipping the canvas? I've mapped it to Command F, but you can go up to View and flip horizontal. I would change that one to Command F. Personally, that's what I like. Claudio, will this live be saved? Yeah, I just let it live on YouTube. I just imagine Dora saying, "Can you see the face?" and then staring at me blankly. Bloody Dora, hey? All right, too much time on the head, but is that ever a thing? No, the nose is annoying. The nose is annoying me. Because we've turned the head more than the reference, we've got to take that into account. So this is a nice little center line helper for the hair. There's a little bit too much of this little scratchy stuff. Anyway, this doesn't matter. What am I doing? What am I doing? Continue. Need to figure out the rest of the bloody body. Alright, so I'm seeing this kind of arc come down that balances between both of the shoulders here. Because she's kind of like hunched forward a little bit because of she's on the bike. Got the stream downloaded, switched to using my encoder video proc, which worked faster. It didn't import to resolve all that well, so I used the program to trim and it encoded it. True ProRes. Fucking awesome, dude. I love it. Sounds very like a very custom workflow. I appreciate that. Okay, so this is going to be quite foreshortened, and we can learn from the reference where her shorts are on her stomach. We can find that and have an understanding of where, like, her hips might be, where the crease of her leg's going to be. See, there's like a little bit of a tilt here, maybe. Again, the hands can give a lot of personality and show a lot of what's going on. Like, even without all the bike stuff, you can kind of see she's holding on to something just with the hand placement. Thumb boy, Twitch supremacy, that's right. It's video nerd stuff, which is stuff I love. ProRes is too big though. I should probably make a custom profile. 90-minute clip was yeah. Yeah. There's I mean, on my my Lumix S5 Mark II, the file sizes are just unbelievable. They're just a bit, and then I got to throw them through like Adobe Media Encoder and stuff. Okay, so this is going to go up and around. Yeah, something's off here, but that's what you get when you're doing sketchy stuff. Carrots, how you doing? You're speaking in algebra. Oh, fancy, yeah. Yeah, that was Christian. He got the Mark 1, and then I saw it, and I was like, I really like it. But then I called up my local camera shop, and they're like, oh, we don't have the Mark II, but we have like an X display model. It was like $600 less. I'm like, yeah, no one's, it's literally just sitting there collecting dust. So I got a really good deal. Yeah, I think this head, maybe we do something. That feels more natural, what I warned myself of earlier. The head foreshortening. Because we're inventing all these shapes. So we've got to just tweak and change them and whatever sort of makes sense with our character now is what's got to, which is what's got to fly. That's the thing. All right, knock it back one time. And let's maybe do it a little bit darker. Let's actually go back to our reference here. So we got Beidak for like simplicity and really like nice overlapping shapes. We got Creature Box. I love this traditional stuff. This is goals right here. This is beautiful. But I'm liking the simplicity of these lines here. So I wonder if too bad it's like 6 pixels high. Give me a sec. Scale her up just a bit. This page is actually looking quite neat in comparison to the other ones. Okay. Oh, I reckon I'm gonna even get rid of that. Get rid of the eyes and see if we can just get a little bit of the understanding of these shapes. Not copying the style necessarily, but just taking a little bit from the shape language. No. She's not like crazy stylized like this though, so I've got to take that into account as well. So should she be looking this way? Maybe she's looking more this way. Because I mean her head's tilted that way, so that kind of makes more sense. I still have my GH4. I haven't upgraded in 10 years. The video out of it is amazing. Yeah, you don't need to upgrade. Don't upgrade. I agree. I needed to upgrade. I was working with a 1080p Canon something. So I was about due. I much prefer micro 4/3 over full frame, so I would go with the GH7 or something personally. Yeah, that's fair. How do you organize your workspace in Photoshop? I don't really, if I'm honest. Unrelated to simple shapes, but I was wondering what your process is when layering your art. Like, do you paint, render over your line art, or merge the flat colors and linear and paint over it? It looks great, by the way. Thank you. Yes, to all of that. It depends what I'm feeling. Sometimes I'll just go straight over with the line work just with paint, or I'll be more methodical with it and layer it using multiple layers, like line work layers. And then whether I want to or not, I'll sort of start with my flats and then eventually merge them down and then erase the line work, or I'll erase the line work before I do the rendering. It really depends. There's no one particular way that I'll work all the time, you know. No, yeah, I'm not loving the phase. Not loving it. But also, this isn't what I'm meant to be focusing on. But that's okay. This is where we're in danger zone right now. Noodly danger zone. No, I'm nuking it. Nuking it. Starting again. Get out of here. It's that balance between the eyes and the nose. That we've got to play with. And because we're kind of looking down on the face as well. I'm just going to experiment with different nose shapes. Completely change her look potentially, but that's fine. That's a good little trick with a nose. Following that up the face to find that inner corner of the eye. Yeah, something like that, I guess. Maybe I don't. Not a fan. Not a fan, but that happens. You might even see less of the chin here. Okay. Ugh. See, this is real life. This isn't social media. Well, it technically is, but not everything goes to plan. Yeah, look, not a fan, but we'll just keep rolling with it. No, we won't. No, we won't. I've got to fix these eyes. Doing my heading. Zakaria, how you doing? Alright, simple shapes, that's what we were looking for, right? Simple shapes. No. Okay, yeah, fine. Why this was so tricky, I couldn't tell you. It's pretty funny though, like you change one little thing and it just completely changes the look of the character. Right, let's think. Yeah, probably be more like that, I think. Okay, let's focus back. Let's dial in, lock it in. And no, I'm not going for likeness with this face. Ugh. Yuck. Since the other eye is on the side, how about you make the iris finer? Yeah, but the thing is, when people look, or when, say if she's looking over here, like at a thing, like a flyer, right? These aren't going to be exactly the same angle. Like, see here, this looks like a little bit bulgy. So if I did that and I made it thinner, it kind of looks a little bit off, but what actually happens is we kind of focus inwards, so the eyes will be slightly tilted towards one another, if that makes sense. So it's not going to be too much like that, because you can very quickly just make it look like a little bit boss-eyed. But that's what iterating's for, trying different stuff out. That feels a bit better. Okay, let's have a look. Let's see what we can do here. Can we save it? I've gone quiet. The concentration intensifies. The head is a little bit skewiff. So maybe we can have a little bit of that neck showing. Yeah, tricky foreshortening on this one. Tricky foreshortening. So we've got the bike here. And a thing that I'm keeping in mind here is this leg being straight. So this one bent. Right, and this leg, boom, straight. Because she's pedaling. Here. Cool, cool, cool. Now with these more mechanical things, I reckon it's better off just taking it one step at a time. So alright, we've got the handlebars. Cool. Then we notice that this is kind of offset. Look at the front part of the bike. I don't even know what you'd call it. The steering column. I don't know. Don't come here for bike anatomy, that's for sure. And then we can get an idea of how foreshortened this is. Okay. You either die here or live. Okay. I like this dude. He's probably my favorite. Look, I reckon I might clean up this guy while I do some cheeky little plugs. If that's okay with you guys. So first plug, check the links in the description if you enjoy this kind of stylized stuff. I've got an 8-hour, 10-chapter walkthrough tutorial that comes with a 40-page PDF field guide. You guys can go check out, links in the description. Also, the Filthy plugin, didn't use too much of it today, but this guy, he automatically fills in for you. You can do hue shifts so it changes color on each shape. You can also do luminance lock. So if you want to keep all the little hue shifts within one value range, see, it all looks like this, and then we change it, boom. Look at all the little hue shifties that you got in there. So that's luminance lock, where you can change the luminance and pretty much keep the same value. Really helpful for those little color pops. All right. Keep an eye out also for Drea coming soon, which is my new course platform. I guess you call it a platform, I don't know, but I'm going to have some more courses coming out on my own platform soon, but you guys will know about that when it comes out. When there's links, I'll be giving you links. Imagine doing figure study with filthy no lines. Whew. I mean, you can. The cool thing is you can kind of draw with it. Like, you come here. Which is kind of fun. You sort of just keep going around, and then if you want like a whole section just blocked in, it is quite nice just to go quick and just whip in the shapes wherever you want. Good practice as well for finding the shadow shapes in particular. You get this kind of broken line kind of vibe to it, so yeah. Yeah, it's a good little exercise actually. It's good call, Thunguns. I reckon I might do more of this. Just got to be careful with like the thinner lines. You can accidentally kind of fill in too much. Oh yeah, you can do that as well. You can do that as well. That's kind of like the obvious thing, right? But yeah, no. Doing some line work with it is kind of fun. Some weird line shape work hybrid. Come here. And this is where it really comes in handy, understanding where the shadows are. And keeping it thin where the light will be hitting. So for example, underneath here, like the flap, there might be a little bit of a shadow there. Might be a little bit more of a shadow here. Underneath his collar. Then here in the vest, it might not be as dark, but yeah, it's just finding that balance, and it's just, yeah, something a bit different. Well, yeah, keeping it pretty thin where there wouldn't really be too much shadow. And then thickening it up where it makes sense to. Yeah, it's a different kind of way. I haven't done this in a while. Different way of working. Could even just block in the whole belt just to give him that. Just, I don't know. Just because I wanted to block in the belt, really. Bigaton. Yes, I'm drawing with Filthy. This is actually pretty fun. It just takes a little bit of getting used to of like where and when to like come back on itself. You can kind of have like little happy accidents as well. And maybe with the shoes, we just black it all out. Well, maybe not all of it. But then we can come through with the erase. Here, so delete. And then we can come through and just give that little indication. Yeah, quick little way to throw something together. Would I use it for everything? Probably not. And just come back in with the pen. A little bit more detail where you want to have it. This is where you could do like a real, like dark pen that doesn't have too much feathering with it. Give him a little bit of a vignette. There you go. How you going, Sugar Beach? You kind of did. That's all right. It's all recorded. But yeah, cool. With that, I would like. What is goal? What is chop chat? Oh, super chat goals. Okay. With that, I will say thank you very much for joining me. I had a great time sketching, drawing, chatting. Where did we get to? Quick recap. So we started off with this dude, a little sketch. Then went down to her, understanding a little bit more about the skull and the mouth being open and changing the pose a little bit. This dude, whimsical fella, understanding a little bit about the lenses maybe, like he's not super distorted because of perspective. This one, which is probably my favorite of the stream, this guy, again, simplifying shapes, overlapping shapes as well was sort of the goal of this one. And her. Not a fan of this one, if I'm perfectly honest, but we did it. And that's that. Yeah, I'd imagine they would, Thumb Guns. Yeah, the Speedy Guy's my favourite. I appreciate it, Thumb Guns. Sangram C9, thank you, appreciate you. And look, thank you so much, Super. Oh, thank you, Super. I don't like her, but I'm glad you like her. He needs his own comic, the Speedy Guy. Yeah, I can foresee me taking him a little bit further. Maybe this guy's in the same universe as him. He's just like, ugh, show off. You know? Yeah, something fun there maybe. Maybe he's a little bit smaller. Yeah, something there. Maybe. Who knows? Catch you later, Super. Thanks for popping in. Thumb Gun, Sugar Beats, everyone in chat. You're absolute bloody legends. You know where to find me. Same time every week. Right here. 10:45 Australian Central Daylight Time. 4 p.m. PST, I believe. Catch you later, carrots. And I'll be seeing you next week. You know where to find me for all other content. Bye-bye for now.